The family wasn't even aware the house was on fire, and investigators are expecting that amount to rise. New recruits have been on this base less than 24 hours, and we got a chance to see their reception. Sheriff Cox says all 5 employees will stay on until the end of the year. Those are being bought up at a very quick pace, flying off the shelves here at Country Mart. Workers came in Monday morning to find out the post office had been broken into. When it comes to your vehicles, police say don't give anyone a reason to want to break in. There's one simple rule to help bury yourself in presence without burying yourself in debt. When the snow starts falling this heavy, that's when you start seeing those snow plows and snow blowers out in full force. 2 years of flooding has made this park look more like a river bed instead of a river walk. Steel used to make these cars withstood about 20,000 psi. Here they're trying to make vehicles with only cardboard and duct tape. Some people have a more melodious approach to finding these fungal treasures. The city of Atchison mourns a fallen hero shot and killed in the line of duty. Reporting from Atchison, Robert Lowrey, KQ2 News. It's a town you could drive by and think it's relatively peaceful. But Friday afternoon, there was a lot of commotion in Trimble centered around this bank.
I came up to Trex at about, I think it was 1:30-ish, something like that, and saw cops everywhere. I was like, what's going on?
What had happened, a lone gunman walked into First Security Bank demanding money. Shortly after, he headed north to a strip mall to his getaway car. But what happened inside the bank isn't surprising anybody in Trimble.
She was saying that some guy came in there, bleeding all over the place. He went in the bathroom and like bandaged himself up, or did something like that, and apparently he got gas and then took off. Those injuries came after he was shot holding up the bank here in Trimble, but the shot didn't come from police or an armed guard. It was a customer carrying the gun.
Most people around here do own guns. There are concealed carry, endorsed carrier people, and you're in more of the rural part of Missouri.
Wounded, the suspect was pursued by police, caught and arrested after hitting stop sticks outside of Kansas City. A scary moment inside the Trimble Bank, but not surprising to hear one of their own tried to stop the suspect.
Well, hopefully once in a lifetime incident for us, but you know, we work hard to keep this community safe.
Yeah, pretty much everyone has a gun here, so I mean, you know, there's really no violence in this town. This is probably the first thing that's happened, I don't know, what, 5-10 years?
Yeah. A lot of uproar in a relatively quiet town. In this kitchen, 2 men work side by side to feed hungry hunters and give each other a hard time.
Daily special, smile, you're on camera.
I wonder which Beasley done that.
Charlie works the grill most of the time, perfecting his specialty cheeseburgers. For 3 weeks, the grill is almost like home for Charlie, lending his cooking expertise through a busy hunting season.
Needed some help during this goose season. I told him I'd be more than glad to help him.
Just like brothers, the two are almost inseparable. Almost.
Not so good for me.
I don't know what he'd do without me.
Charlie wasn't always flipping burgers over at Sportsman's Lodge. Last year, he was perfecting his famous cheeseburgers right here on this spot in Big Lake where he owned Prop Inn. But last year's flooding washed away his grill and his business.
Starting right here was my walk-in cooler, kitchen, and all this was my restaurant and bar area. From here out to there.
The only thing left standing from the bar and grill, an air conditioner and a muddied Prop Inn sign. The concrete slab is a cold reminder of last year's flooding, but for Charlie, he's not giving up on the town of Big Lake.
Planning on rebuilding, you know, he's working on it right now, and in the meantime, he needed something to do, you know, got to have some income. So he's over here working with us.
Working back in the grill, Charlie can feel relaxed, able to keep his mind and his body busy. In the neighboring towns of Bigelow and Big Lake, it can be hard to hide from the regulars, just the way Charlie likes it.
Pretty funny to watch the people walk in and see my competitor walk out of the kitchen. You know, what's he doing here? You know, or Charlie, what are you doing here? Well, we all got to work together, you know, make this as good as we can right now.
We're a tight-knit community. Everybody just needs to stick together and we'll get through this.
With Charlie in the grill, he's bringing his cheeseburger secrets over to Sportsman's Lodge.
They're excellent.
They're not as good as ours, but they're good.
As brothers, these 2 men are hoping their community family can work together to rebuild, throwing competition aside. You can pick any day of the week, and you might hear a saw slicing through some wood in this garage. Inside, an artist working on his next masterpiece.
I make 3 of those, and then I glue them together, and then there's the cover.
It's a talent for woodwork Kurt McEnany has been perfecting for years. The man whose hands have built 77 homes in the Midland Empire, now focusing on another craft.
This one here is number 5, and I started on them last August, and it takes me about a month per motorcycle.
For 6 months, this carpenter has been sawing and sanding pieces of wood that one day look like this, combining his 2 loves, woodwork and motorcycles.
Every single motorcycle, I take special pride in making sure that there's something different about this particular one than the ones that did before.
But unlike most carpenters, McEnany's real trick of the trade isn't his vision of the wooden canvas. Instead, it's what he's overcome that has left his vision off center and the left side of his body completely numb.
You don't have a clue, and then your life changes. Everything about your life changes in the blink of an eye.
2 years ago, McEnany suffered a hemorrhagic stroke on his brainstem. One, doctors say he had 10% chance of surviving. The stress of a down economy and housing market crash weighing heavily on him.
And I was worrying about everything, and it took its toll. And I was like, no way, that is not me. And the fighting part of me came out.
That fighter soon found his way back to his home. Facing the uncertain future of unemployment, he took up his craft once more, supported by his wife at his side in the workshop and on the road.
After I had my stroke, she said she wasn't going to ride hers again until I could ride again. And I love her so very much for that.
It's a passion that's keeping his mind busy and his body active. 2 loves that came together to give this carpenter new meaning.